So where do you see modern Toyota and Roadster kind of evolving over the next few months? I know that you mentioned there's enhancements that they talk with us about weekly. There's getting the salesman involved. So kind of what does your roadmap over the next maybe 3 months look like for the Roadster tool and modern Toyota?
So, a couple of things that we wish the tool had that it doesn't. For instance, aged inventory. We have to price a car line, so all Camry LEs are priced the same. All Tacoma TRD Sports are priced the same. But if one's a demo or one's got some age on it, or maybe it's not the most popular color and we want to drill the price down, we don't have that ability within Roadster. So what we have to do is go into dealer.com and sort of trick some invoice pricing in order to push a more aggressive price across to Roadster. So obviously we want to see some of those enhancements because we do believe that the tool would be a much better tool for the consumer.
Well, and you also mentioned PMA earlier and how you would like to be able to price it by zip code.
Yep.
That was one that you had
The other
mentioned.
thing we've asked them is, can you allow us to adjust pricing based on zip code? So if we could set up our PMA zip code, maybe we have two pricing models.
Mm-hmm.
The key is we don't want to lose $1,500 to sell a car in Wilmington. If we could be more aggressive and get a PMA customer that may service with us.
Sure.
So, and still keep the volume going and keep the volume up. So, so those enhancements, all those little enhancements, we would love to see and see how we could incorporate that into the process. And then the other piece is we're pretty excited about dropping it into the sales floor. Our salespeople are very educated on it. They understand the process. It's all process mapped and everybody gets what their role is. But they still haven't had access to put people in the express store on the showroom to then create other levels of engagement for the BDC. So that's our next step. That's where we want to evolve with it. And then not losing sight of the fact that it is a digital retailing tool and it is supposed to be set up so that somebody could go completely through the tool and purchase a vehicle. We want to encourage our BDRs as they get more and more familiar with it to keep the customer in the tool as long as possible,
Right.
Until at what point in time they determine that the customer needs to be pulled out. So I think that piece is just as critical too as we continue to refine the process. But I see it going nowhere but up. The other piece, the last piece I will touch on is the F&I piece. If you look at what our F&I PVRs are on Roadster deals versus traditional deals, they're higher on both new and used. So the finance piece of Roadster, I would love to see us get some videos in there to further explain the product. And we have spoken with Becky and various other people about getting those particular items done.
Sure.
But to continue to evolve the tool to better communicate with customers. And I think that's it for the next 90 days with us, is how to get better engagement.
So in closing, I just want to say, thanks for your time, but what would you tell our new stores that are just coming on? We've had our Hyundai stores only been on it for a little while. Nissan stores are, a couple weeks in. Our Chevy stores are coming on board. What would you tell them are some of the things to try to focus on initially? Because you can't, the knowledge and everything that you guys have learned over these few months, several months, it doesn't come overnight, but you can't do it all at once. But what are maybe some of the top three things or something that you would tell a store to really pay attention and focus on for the best chance of success with the tool?
One is the tool does not sell cars. We still sell cars. So we've got to live in the tool. Sales managers have to understand it at a high level. It's not just a BDC tool, and it's not just a digital retailing tool. Again, it is sort of a virtual desking tool. So that would be number one. Management team must live in it. Number two is understand that we're putting the concept out of come into our virtual showroom or our express store. Well, if a customer walked in off the street and said, I want to get my trade appraised, we wouldn't wait 3 hours to appraise their trade. So if a trade comes in on Roadster, we've got to treat it as exactly if they walked in the showroom. Just a real high sense of urgency. We try to compress the time period so that another dealer cannot insert themselves in our conversation until we've given that customer everything they want. And then the third piece is to allow your BDRs to have deeper conversations with customers, to pull more information out. We're not afraid to make mistakes, being too aggressive early. And it gave our BDC, the staff, a lot of confidence that they could get in there and have communications with customers. And then as the tool evolved, we sort of refined that communication
Right.
and narrowed its scope. But early on, we left it wide open. So I think high-level management engagement, giving the BDR some flexibility to do it, and then treating the customers that come into it as if they're sitting in your showroom. If you do those three things, then it becomes really a driver of your business, and not just, now we don't have a tool that we're working for, we've got a tool that's working for us. And that's been our goal since day one.
Well, that's great. I appreciate your time. I think that says a lot. The stores have a lot of opportunity with the product. I'm excited to see where it goes and how we look at the end of the year with everything we're doing with it. So thanks again for your time.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.